everybody, welcome back to my revision channel. So this is just going to be a relatively quick video about my driving theory test. So many of you asked me to do a video about my driving theory test, and I thought, well, I've sat it today and thankfully I passed, thank goodness, and I managed to get 49 out of 50 on my multiple choice and 66 out of 75 on my hazard perception. So I thought I'd just go through the entire experience, ignore the body butter on my arm, I just filmed another video, but I just thought I'd go through the experience with you guys to sort of share with you what the whole thing's like, because I wish that I'd had a video like this when I sat my theory. So the first thing you have to do obviously is register. You can't do that until after your 16th birthday, no 17th, sorry. But basically I had exams. My birthday was the week before mocks, and then after mocks it was kind of just straight into exams. A lot of people at my school decided to sit theirs, you know, straight away after their birthday, but I was really in no rush and I just carried on having my driving lessons, and then as soon as exams finished I booked a test date for the day after I broke up from school, which is today, because I wanted to give myself enough time to fit it in with how much I had going on, but I really wanted to get it done before summer properly started so I can get that out of the way. I booked it online. It was £23. All you need is your licence and you need to book a test slot, and then you'll get an email from the DVLA confirming your appointment. So I was told that I needed to be at my test centre 15 minutes before my test was due to start, but I didn't really, when I got there I don't really feel like they were like that strict about it. Like, they're not exactly the nicest people, but it's because it's their job to be like quite strict. So I booked my test and went to the theory test centre, but before I go on to the actual experience I'm going to tell you how I revised. I'm in no way sponsored by this company, but I used the driving test success apps. I bought the four for £5.99. That included a road signs app, a highway code app, a hazard perception app and the theory test app. I literally didn't really use road signs or the highway code. All I did to revise my theory was I went through all 700 questions on the practice section of the theory test and then just sat mock test after mock test. I sat mock tests from the government website, mock test papers that my driving instructor gave me, and whenever I was just on the bus, had a free 5 minutes, I'd just be doing mock tests, and that was why I think I did so well on the multiple choice. I didn't really, when I got in there, I'd done all of the questions apart from one, and I'm pretty sure that is the one that I got wrong. That was literally a question that I'd never seen and I didn't get it. So other than that though, I found the multiple choice went really well. And for hazard perception, all I did again was go through a few practice clips. At first I really didn't understand it and I kept failing and I was like, I don't understand like what's going on, but when you watch the explaining video from the DVLA it makes so much more sense and I really started to pick it up. Actually, my app I found was harder than the actual thing because most of the videos are real life on the app and the hazards are really subtle. Like, you'll see like a car like with its hazard lights on like really far ahead, or somebody will open their door like a little bit, whereas in the actual test it was so obvious. Like, it was pedestrians running across the road, cars swerving, loads of like really like in your face, this is a bloody hazard sort of thing. Anyway, all I did on that was I just did mock test after mock test. I did most of my hazard perception the week before and I was genuinely convinced I was going to fail that, but once I got in there, the clips, the car drives really slowly and the hazards are like, that is a hazard, like that is a hazard. So that is all I did to revise. So when I got to the test centre they asked for my provisional licence, my address, like my postcode, and then they made me sign a form saying that I'd read the rules that they'd given me to read. They're really simple, they're just like don't cheat basically, and then you have to take off your jacket, turn your phone off. Literally just died mid filming, like okay cool. But anyway, as I was saying, I put my stuff in a locker, which is fine by me, like I get why you wouldn't want to do that, and then the woman was like, oh, just go around the corner and all is well. So I went around the corner and the woman was really lovely, like the one that was manning the desk. So basically she sits in like a big glass thing where she can see all of the cubicles, and she asked for my ID again and she loaded up the test and she was like, just go and do it when you're ready. So I walked in. At this point I was so nervous because I just really didn't want to fail it because I didn't want to sit it again because I literally hate theory. Anyway, I sat down and they were like, oh, here's a practice section. So it was like, what colour is the grass? Pick out the two triangles. Like stupid questions, but it really helps you just become accustomed to the system. Explains the review tab, the flag tab, all of that sort of stuff. So I did that. And then I went straight on to the theory test because I just wanted to get it done. They give you 57 minutes and you have 50 questions. Now, I took 20 minutes to answer mine, and that was doing them and then going over them again. Don't feel like you need to spend the whole 57 minutes, because if you know the answer, you know the answer. I just did them all the way through first, flagging the ones I really didn't think I knew. And then I went through them all again. Then I went through the flagged ones again. That took me about 20 minutes, and then I went straight on to hazard perception. You have the chance to have a 3-minute break, but I didn't bother. And there's a DVLA video which explains really, really well, like, exactly what to do and gives you like a practice go. And then the cursor disappears off the screen and it will give you a 10-second countdown to each clip. There's 14 clips. There's one developing hazard in all of the 14, but one of them has got 2 developing hazards. My 2 hazard one was the second clip, and I was like, oh, thank God, I can breathe now. I just need to pick one hazard for each one. So you'd have a clip, then 10 seconds, then a clip, then 10 seconds. It went really, really quickly. Usually I find it really boring, but I think it's because I was like so like het up. It was fine. Anyway, so the cursor disappears and a flag comes up at the bottom. I tend to click on a hazard, click, pause, click, because often I was losing marks. I was getting 0 because I was clicking it too early. So my driving instructor told me to do click, pause, click. Obviously you can't click all the time, but if you see a hazard that you know is a developing hazard, that's fine. So I clicked a lot more than I usually do, but I just really wanted to pass. So I did that, and then there was a couple of trial questions at the end that they just wanted to do. They were like all questions that I'd done before from the theory test, and then they were like, cool, you can go. So I was like, right, where do I get my results? So I got up, walked out, and the woman again, the really nice one, was like, oh, can I have your ID please? Gave her my provisional licence. She was like, alright, here's it back, go and collect your results from the desk. And I was like, right, okay. So I literally walked over to the desk, I got my stuff out my locker, walked over, woman, stone face, like genuinely stone, but like this, just goes, I was like, oh my God, I failed my theory, all this for nothing. It's fine, I passed, it was all good. But they're not allowed to discuss your results, so they gave me a cute little learner's booklet, and it's got some really useful advice in, and then they gave me my certificate, and I was like, yay! The guy in front of me failed, so he was like crying all the way down the corridor, and I was just kind of walking behind him like, oh God. But yeah, I passed, so it's fine. On 8 clips I got 5 out of 5, on 5 clips I got 4, and on 1 clip I got 1. I know which one that was though, because it was like a swerving motorcycle, so I only clicked it when it swerved, because I didn't really think it was going to do anything. So yeah, that's like the experience of my theory test. My top 5 tips: number 1 would be on hazard perception. Click every time you see like what you think is a hazard, because a lot of the time it doesn't look like one, and then all of a sudden it will turn into a big hazard. And don't be afraid to click a lot of times. Just don't click in a pattern and don't literally click everything. Like, find the balance. But I clicked so many times in one of them and I was like, they're going to give me 0 for this clip, but they didn't. It was fine. Tip 2, just do all of the practice questions, because then there's no nasty surprises when you get in there. I knew all of the questions. It didn't take me very long to go through all of them. And when I was in there, I'd done all of the questions before, so it was just a case of remembering the answers. 3, don't take many belongings with you, because you ain't going to be able to use them anyway. Turn your phone off before you get in there, and make sure you've got your provisional licence with you. 4, prepare, because if you don't prepare, that's a waste of £23. And when you get in there, just remember that it feels like any other exam, like you feel like you've done a lot worse than you actually have. And I would say 5, for me, would definitely be, don't be put off by the people in the test centre. They really seem like, honestly, the mood in there was just like, oh, it was so grey and dry. But don't let that put you down, and don't let that freak you out. Just go in there and give it your best shot. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some tips on how to pass first time and what the theory experience is actually like. So give this a big fat thumbs up if you want me to do one of these for my practical test / driving lessons when I do pass my practical. And comment down below any other questions you might have about theory, and I'll be sure to answer them. And I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye guys! Mwah.